Namaste, angels. I'm here to do the general reading for the week of June 18th through the 24th. Sunday, June 18th, which is tomorrow. I'm doing this reading now. It's 9:50 exactly on Saturday night, on the 6/18. And there's a lot going on this week. I kind of don't know where to start, but I think I'm going to start with some messages that I received from the collective higher self of the divine masculine. And I wasn't even really trying to connect with the divine masculine. I was just in meditation, and I got overwhelmed with a message of how he is feeling. Now I'm going to do the cross-spread, my copyrighted cross-spread. And I hate that I have to say it that way, but you know, you guys who've seen me do this spiel before, you know why. When I don't, people think it's okay to steal from me and act as if it's theirs. So legally, I have the right to obviously go after any of these people who use any of my spreads. I don't use anybody's spreads. I have 3 spreads that I use. They are all mine. I own them all. They are all copyrighted. They are all protected additionally under my trademark, my brand. So I'll be using those. But anyway, to get back to the real stuff, the good stuff. I got a message that basically, it's sort of like no matter what the divine masculine has and what he achieves, it's almost like he's convinced himself that he's never going to have enough or be enough. So even these successful ones and more successes among our divine feminine and our divine masculine, everything that I predicted to happen around the honeymoon, happening all over for the collective. And I'm very happy about it. With the exception of, you know, the sad aspects of it, us having to, you know, separate from people in relationships, you know, the portions of that, which is sad, those that have passed away. One of the days I had seen, if you guys remember, I don't remember which day at this point, but I had seen perhaps a masculine energy and maybe specifically a male on the side of the divine masculine passing away, that would be from where he got his inheritance. I heard from a couple of you who lost your grandfather. My condolences to you and your family. But in the general sense, people have been, again, male and female, masculine and feminine, have been separating from these karmic relationships of all kinds, you know, not just romantic, but friendships also. So everything that we saw, and new relationships, and relationships anew coming together. But people who hadn't been dating in forever, suddenly entering committed relationships, all of this wonderful, wonderful stuff happening. Even with that, and for those divine masculine who are a part of that, some buying homes, again, on both sides, buying homes, buying cars, just really making moves, getting new jobs. But even with all that, well, there is the other aspects of what I had seen to happen. I said there would still be jealousy, right? There would still be a lot of envy, and it would be heightened even. So that's happening. I'm seeing a lot of 5s, the 5 of Wands, 5 of Swords, 5s all over the place. That's the conflict and the change and the need for change due to conflict, the need to detach from drama. But again, for even those who are successful, it's just like, you know, can I ever be faithful enough for her? And when I say her, I mean the divine feminine, who's not necessarily a female. You know, second guessing themselves, judging themselves. In the past, I haven't always been the best man I can be. And again, when I say man, I mean the divine masculine, which may not necessarily be a male. You know, so it's money, but it's commitment, fear of commitment too. Like, can I really do this? Can I just be with this one man, one woman, you know, forever? Because I don't want to cheat on this one. I don't want to mess up like that. Not once we really, really make it official. I don't want to go backwards. So they just have a major fear of entering the commitment, of approaching the commitment, for fear of getting it wrong, basically. But this is coming into place with money, with jobs, with all this stuff. Like, it'll never be enough. I'll never be able to provide all the stuff that I wish to. And what they don't seem to get is that for the divine feminine, we, for the most part, are just about the love. Like, what can you give us? What can you give me? That's what you can give me, you know? And when you go off and don't talk and beat up on yourself and all these kind of things, because you don't want to hurt the divine feminine, that hurts the divine feminine. Now, do we need some of this hurt? Yeah. Which brings me to one of the things that I was going to talk about that I'm now not going to, because there's so many things going on. The 25th, so it can fall into next week's reading, is the beginning of the month of Tammuz, Tammuz in the Hebrew calendar. And that month is very much so, even though it will be based on our Gregorian calendar, we'll be in Cancer at this point, because Gemini ends this week. That's one of the things that's going on the 21st, the same day as the solstice. But it's a very twin sort of month. It's a month very much so about the two types of good. And the one type of good is just what we all know, good. God said, you know, let there be light. And then he saw the light and he said it was good. That's good, right? And then there's bad good that comes out of the darkness, that's born of our negative experiences, that sometimes we have to look for. Sometimes we need to shed some light on it, or remember that we have that, you know, light with us to shine on these things, to find the good. But there's two kinds of good. That's what the month is about. So this is something that the masculine, and then we all need to keep in mind. And I'm going to tell you one little story from islamcan.com for the masculine. I found this right away. I had that revelation basically in meditation. Went directly to my laptop, clicked, Islam Can, second page. I just went right directly to this thing. Second page, The King and the Poor Man. That's the name of this very short story. There was a king who decided to take a tour of his country. As he passed by different places, everyone rushed to see him. However, while passing a certain place, he noticed a poor old man who didn't pay him any attention. He didn't care about the king's arrival, and he remained engaged in his own activities. The king went up to this poor man and asked why he did not join the people to see him. The poor man replied, "Before you, there was another king who once passed by this place. Everyone gathered to see him as well. But a few days later, he died and was buried in a place nearby. A poor man also died during that time and was buried near the king's grave. After some time, a strong flood passed through here, causing those graves to overturn. As a result, the bones of the poor man became mixed up with the bones of the king. We couldn't differentiate between them any longer. After seeing this, it does not matter to me anymore as to who is a king and who is a beggar. In the end, our home is the same." This is just a reminder to the masculine that to be a king, you don't have to necessarily have the money. Like, at the end of the day, we're all the same on the inside, and it's what you have to offer from within that really, really matters, and that what the divine feminine is looking for, basically. And with that, I'm going to go to what's going on this week, because there's a lot again. So tomorrow, or Monday rather, the 19th, it is what is called Juneteenth in America. And that has a lot to do with the freedom aspect of all this. And I've been feeling a lot of things for the 19th, positive things, maybe born out of the search for freedom, individual freedom. This might be a day where people continue to break karmic relationships, but noticeably so, and things of that nature. Juneteenth is the day on which the state of Texas finally woke up and got the memo and realized that slavery had ended. The federal government at the time had officially ended it for all the colonies, and they just continue to practice it. And so finally, again, they got the memo and it was ended. The 21st is the last day of Gemini and the day of the solstice. So it will be But the longest day of the year, right? Yes, the longest day of the year. The sun will shine the brightest that it does, or for the longest amount of time during the course of the year on the 21st. And that's a very heavy energy day for us too. A lot of love coming through with the 21st, but not as much as on the 23rd and 24th, at least if you ask me. And why do I say that? Well, the 23rd is the feast day of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. It's also the day of the new moon. So new beginnings for many, many people, just continuing. And with this Cancer new moon, I'll go more into it when I do the new moon reading. But with this Cancer new moon, I feel it's not going to be very Cancery. So it's not going to be like overly emotional. And like in my personal experience with like particularly Cancer males, they can be, well, in my life at least, those that with whom I've encountered, they can be kind of whiny. And it might be our clash, right? My Gemini and maybe my Leo, maybe my Aquarius, whatever it is in there. But it's been my experience with Cancer sun males. So that's not going to be happening because to combat, I guess, some of the water will be this Mercurian energy as well, with Mercury opposite the sun and opposite the moon on the 23rd, and for a while, I believe. So that's going on there, along with the Sacred Heart of Jesus. On the 24th, for one thing, it's the birthday of St. John the Baptist, Jesus's cousin, Mary's cousin, born to her cousin Elizabeth, who was an aged woman. We've been over this too. Some of my favorite passages of the Bible, Luke 1:36 through 156, that whole story where Mary went to visit Elizabeth and stay with her until she had her baby. She was 6 months pregnant at the time. They were both pregnant. But in addition to it being the feast day of St. John the Baptist, it's also the feast day of the Immaculate Heart of Mary. So the 23rd is the Sacred Heart of Jesus. The 24th is the Immaculate Heart of Mary. It's also the last day of Ramadan, which means it's the first day of Eid al-Fitr, which is the celebration. If we break the fast and we party, basically what Eid Mubarak means is like celebration, a blessed celebration. Basically, that's what it translates to from Arabic. So that's what's going to be happening on the Feast of Eid, and that's going to be the 24th through the 27th. So a lot of high energy because of that. And then the 25th is the first day again of the month of Tammuz. So even though it's not necessarily included in this reading, we could have some overlap of all these things that are going on. All right, so let me go to the sky this week and try to get through that quickly. And then we'll keep all this stuff in mind as we, go over the cards. Maybe we'll see some that have something to do with freedom. Mary and Jesus may show up. Actually, Mary's here already on 2 of my decks. Things like that. I was also feeling about the 24th, and it is an 8. Build, destroy. Now, what does build, destroy mean? Maybe because it's the last day of Ramadan and the first day of Eid, that's where build, destroy came in, perhaps. Because what build, destroy is, it's 8 in supreme math. So that's an Islamic faith. And what it means is, basically, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. Like either we're building together or you're destroying what's happening. If you're not contributing to it, you're destroying. So keep that in mind too. Okay, so here we go. Monday, June 19th. Jupiter appears halfway to the zenith in the southwestern sky during twilight this week and doesn't set until nearly 2 a.m. local daylight time. The brilliant planet shines at a magnitude of -2.1. That is super bright. Okay, and it dominates the evening sky. Understandably so. It appears nearly stationary against the background stars of Virgo, some 11 degrees northwest of the Maiden's brightest star, which is first magnitude Spica. When viewed through a telescope, Jupiter's disk spans 39 inches and shows a wealth of atmospheric detail East Coast residents who observed the giant planet early this evening also have the opportunity to see the shadows of this moon. To see the shadows of its moons, Io and Europa on the cloud tops. Io's shadow appears on the disk as soon as the planet comes out after sunset, while Europa's shadow joins it around 10:04 p.m., which is 14, maybe representing Father here, because it is the 19th. So both of those numbers would represent him. This is Eastern Daylight Time. You'll see both for the next 34, which equals 7, which is another representation of God and divinity. You'll see that 34 minutes before Io's shadow lifts back into space. Europa's sticks around till around 12:28 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Tuesday, June 20th. Although Venus reached its greatest elongation from the sun earlier this month, it now rises earlier and climbs higher in the east before dawn. It rises shortly after 3 a.m. local daylight time and stands 17 degrees above the horizon an hour before sunrise. It's hard to mistake the inner planet for anything else at a magnitude of negative 4.3, so that's even brighter than Jupiter. It shines brighter than any other point of light in the sky, yes. And this morning, you'll see it paired with a lovely crescent moon, which lies about 7 degrees to Venus's right. Tomorrow morning, a thinner crescent moon hangs at a similar distance to the planet's lower left. When viewed through a telescope, Venus shows a 20-inch diameter disk that appears slightly more than half lit. Wednesday, June 21st, so again, the day of the summer solstice, Earth's summer solstice occurs, I'm getting tongue-tied, at 12:24 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, or 9:24 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time on June 20th, when the sun reaches its farthest point north in the sky. This marks the official beginning of summer in the Northern Hemisphere, and the day of the solstice has more hours of sunlight than any other. From mid-northern latitudes, however, the earliest sunrise occurred about a week ago, and the latest sunset won't happen until next week. Mercury passes behind the sun from the Earth's perspective at 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. This means the innermost planet lies on the opposite side of the sun from Earth and remains hidden in our star's glare. It will return to view in the evening sky early next month. So this is what I was talking about when I said the new moon in Cancer, but Mercury very, involved as well. So that's going to like balance it out. And we'll still be, carrying that Queen of Swords energy into July, even though this was her month. Well, she had a few months because Taurus was her month too, right? Anyway, Thursday, June 22nd, magnificent Saturn reached its peak just a week ago, and it appeared opposite the sun in the sky. And our view of the ringed planet remains spectacular. It is on display nearly all night among the background stars of the Serpent Bearer in the southern part, hanging in the southeastern sky as darkness falls and climbing high in the south by midnight local daylight time. Saturn continues to shine brightly too, at a magnitude of 0.0. When viewed through a telescope, the dramatic ring system spans at 42 inches and tilts 27 degrees to our line of sight, while the planet's family of moderately bright moons appears next to the gorgeous world. Friday, June 23rd. Again, the feast day of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. New moon occurs at 10:31 p.m., another 14 there, Eastern Daylight Time. At its new phase, the moon crosses the sky with the sun and so remains hidden by our star. Because the moon also reaches perigee, the closest point in its orbit around the Earth today, at 6:52 a.m., which equals 13:04, 11:11, again, Eastern Daylight Time, residents in the coastal areas can expect higher than normal tides for the next few days. At perigee, the center of the moon lies 222,412 miles, which is another 13:04 or 11:11. 412 miles from Earth's center. But again, yes, that equals 13:04, 11:11. Saturday, June 24th, the conspicuous summer triangle asterism dominates the eastern sky in late evening. Vega, the triangle's brightest member, shines at a magnitude of 0.0 and stands highest of the three stars. To its lower left lies Deneb at a magnitude of 1.3. Its faintest of the trio, magnitude 0.8, Altair, completes the brightest brightest asterism. Despite the name, the summer triangle appears prominent from late spring until winter begins. And lastly, Sunday, June 25th, although this is part of next week's reading, this week offers good opportunity for binocular users to track down the northern sky's brightest globular cluster, M5, whose 100,000 stars glows at a combined magnitude of 5.7 and lies in the southwestern corner of the constellation of Serpens, the Serpent. You can locate it just 0.4 degrees north-northwest of the fifth magnitude star of 5. There's a 5, a little coupled with a serpent, 5 Serpentis. Binoculars show the cluster as a hazy ball of light punctuated by a bright core. And with that, I'll quickly tell you just a tidbit about the Feast of the Sacred Heart. This is from Wikipedia. The Feast of the Sacred Heart, properly also called the Solemnity of the Most Sacred Heart of Jesus, is a solemnity in the liturgical calendar of the Roman Catholic Church. It falls 19, like Father, days after Pentecost on a Friday. The earliest possible date that this can occur is May 29th, or an 11 there, as in the year 1818 or 99 when it occurred on that day. This will happen again if the earth is still around as we know it, and we're still counting years as we do now. This will happen again in the year 2285, which is 8 or 2 11/11s. The latest possible date that this can occur is July 2nd, as it did in the year 1943, which is another 8. And it will again, if everything's are still going the way they are now, we're still using the Gregorian calendar and counting years, it'll happen again in the year 2038, which is 11/11. The devotion to the Sacred Heart is one of the most widely practiced and well-known Roman Catholic devotions, taking Jesus Christ's physical heart as the representation of his divine love for humanity. The background on this is that the devotion to the Sacred Heart of Jesus can be clearly traced back to the at least 11th century. It marked the spirituality of Saint Bernard of Clairvaux in the 12th century and of Saint Bonaventura and Saint Gertrude the Great in the 13th. 13, which equals 11/11. The beginnings of the devotion toward the love of God, as symbolized by the heart of Jesus, are found even in the fathers of the church, including Origen, Saint Ambrose, Saint Jerome, I almost said Saint Germain, Saint Augustine of Hippo, Saint Hippolytus of Rome. And I paused there because I had been thinking about Hippo too. I know that's going to sound weird. But where Osiris was killed, it's a place called Hippo something too. And when Set emerged from the water in the sneak attack against Horus, and that's how he managed to put his eye out temporarily, he emerged as a giant red hippo. So that's why I paused for a second. The other saints are Saint Irenaeus, Saint Justin Martyr, and Saint Cyprian, who used in this regard John 7:37 through 39 and John 19:33 through 37. But the first liturgical feast of the Sacred Heart was celebrated with the episcopal approval on August 31st in the year 1670, another 14 there, and in the major seminary of Reims, France, through the efforts of Saint John Eudes. The Mass and office composed by this saint were adopted elsewhere also, especially in connection with the widespread devotion to the Sacred Heart following on revelations to Saint Margaret Mary Alacoque and Blessed Mary of the Divine Heart, Drost zu Verschering. A Mass of the Sacred Heart won papal approval for use in Poland and Portugal in 1765, 8 and 11, like Saint Germain, I almost slipped up and said before, and Lady Portia. The 8 and 11 represent them for me, justice and strength. And another was approved for Venice, Austria, and Spain in 1788, which is 888. Finally, in 1856, which is 9/11 or 11, Pope Pius IX established the Feast of the Sacred Heart as an obligatory, meaning you had to go, for the whole church to be celebrated on the Friday after the octave of Corpus Christi, which was last week, the feast day of Corpus Christi, also known as the body of Christ, body and blood. I went over that. We talked about that one. In 1928, Pope Pius the 11th, so the other one was Pope Pius the 9th, this is Pope Pius the 11th, there's a 9/11 for you, raised the feast to the highest rank, double of the first class, and added an octave in the 1955, which equals 56 or 11, reforms of the general Roman Catholic calendar, suppressed this octave and removed most other octaves. The math, well, you can go on. If you want to continue, it's going to go on and on. This is again on Wikipedia, and I went over Eid, right? Briefly, yes, that's enough. The feast day of the Solemnity of the Immaculate Heart of Mary, also from Wikipedia. This is actually just from the, not even going into it, but just from the Google search, that portion that comes up. It's a principal object, or in a principal object of this feast. It's identical with the feast day of the Inner Life of Mary, which is celebrated by the Sulpicians on October 19th. So there's our 19 again. Pope Pius the 12th, this time, instituted the Feast of the Immaculate Heart of Mary in 1944 to be celebrated on the 22nd of August. That's my son's birthday. But, you know, I'm sure it makes sense why all these dates continue to be associated with me, or it should now, at least. Anyway, this happened coinciding with the traditional octave day of the Assumption. So both of those are sort of related and celebrated at that time. The Assumption of Mary and also the Immaculate Heart of Mary. And with that, that's it. Okay. So I decided to go ahead and do the dice since I'll be, you know, doing something different with the dailies. That's normally where I do the dice. We'll see what the messages are for the week. We'll try again. Romantic dinner. And party. Maybe some of us still having birthdays. The last of the Geminis, the first of the Cancers. Happy birthday to you guys. I'm still celebrating too. Spirit says sex and party, not necessarily a sex party unless you're into that. And forget it. You know, I guess forget everything else. That's for the week. Now I'm going to do my cross, beginning with Mother Mary. Love and peace. Let go of the need to be right. Choose peace. Mother healing is possible at this time. Opening to Joan of Arc, the voice of truth. Stand strong, focus on your purpose. Release the fear of persecution and speak your truth. This is what I was talking about with the divine masculine. Release the fear of persecution, like people telling you you're not good enough, or you feeling good enough, or you being attacked or feeling attacked, you know, for what you want and what you believe and what you stand for and what you're doing, the moves you want to make in your life. You know, we got to let all that kind of stuff go. And if you need to mother healing in order for you to be able to let it go, then, you know, talk to Mother Mary. Opening to Lord Ganesh. Infinite abundance. Obstacles are being removed. Spiritual support and connections are increasing. That can be part of the mother healing. She may be who's bestowing those blessings upon us. And here's the fear. Kali Ma. Facing fear. Major spiritual changes are unfolding. This is your chance to soar. Mary's still here. I'm going to cut. This is the Keepers of the Light Oracle for anybody who's interested. Kali Ma back. Our overall energy is Lady Portia, divine order. Do what you feel is right. An important lesson is unfolding. I'll add the modifications as well. The feminine with regard to herself. Sanat Kumara, light activation. Shine your light. Your internal guidance is coming through loud and clear. So a lot of us second guessing ourselves, that may be coming to an end now. We're beginning to accept our light, to acknowledge our light and recognize its strength, our inner strength, essentially. Maybe that's why Lady Portia's here. Again, she's all about strength, justice, her and her divine masculine, Saint Germain. The masculine, speaking of divine masculine, the divine masculine's feelings on the divine feminine. Hope, love, and acceptance. Love is yours. Recognize your divine worth. Choose loving thoughts. So the same thing that I was saying that I would hope the masculine would see about himself, recognize and treat himself in a loving way and speak loving words over his own life and, not feel that he's not good enough and go ahead and make an approach, if you want to make one. We're never going to have what we want to have to do anything. Like when people try to prepare to have children and all these kind of things, well, I want to wait until I have a lot of money and all this. And then by the time we do that, we look up and, maybe unfortunately we're unable or something like that. Like we got to get into the moment and live in the moment. If there is anyone, or if you feel about your divine masculine, if you feel about your divine feminine, vice versa, that regardless of anything that's happened, if God forbid they weren't here anymore, they're going to continue to be here from what I see and feel. Nobody's losing in that sense, by death, a divine partner. But if that were to happen, if that would cause you to say like, we were arguing last, I don't care about that. I'd forget about every single thing if I could just see them again. Like I wouldn't care. If there's anybody that you feel that way about, and of course, particularly your divine partner, but if there's anyone, any friends or whatever, relatives that you feel that way about, that you drop everything and, let it go, essentially, were they not to be here, then do that while they're here. Do that while they're here. Get into the moment and, love and accept while we have the opportunity. This is what the divine masculine wants the divine feminine to do. He needs to take his own advice. The divine masculine with regard to himself in relation to the union right now. Bridget, inner strength. Move back into wholeness. Recognize that you have the power. I told you guys that this is what he was going through. Because he told me. The divine masculine with regard to the union as a whole. Mary Magdalene. Teacher awakens. You have something important to share. Follow the inner call. Don't let anything stop you. So he's on board with the two coming together and like going after, seeking to learn their divine purpose together, and as individuals and as a couple, which is really beautiful. And then pursuing that. I love this. Overall, Lady Venus, downloads and understanding. Truth is being revealed. Deep insights are coming from heaven and the astral realm. I think that means what it says. And the outcome, charity, prayer, and contemplation. Connect with heaven. Ask and you shall receive. So if I think some of us need to ask for this love. Ask for this strength. Ask, for guidance. And then listen to it, in the case of the feminine. Ask even for lessons. This is about the good and the bad, or the two different kinds of good, perhaps. Okay. The other positions are for my three Marys. Mary, the mother of Jesus, Mary, the mother of James, and Mary Magdalene. This Mary, the mother of Jesus position is where I ask, what would the masculine have the feminine to do or surrender toward moving, toward the union, moving to this place here. Serapis Bay, ascension. This goes perfect with her light activation. Move into your true self. Rise above the darkness. The light is here. Isn't this perfect for light activation? He knows that we're ascending. And again, he should take his own advice. What is the masculine willing to do or surrender himself toward the union this week? Oh, it's Mother Mary back. Love and peace. Let go of the need to be right. Instead, choose peace. Mother healing is possible at this time. He's taking advantage of it. And he's got two Marys here crossing one another. Lastly, what would the universe have the couple to do or surrender? So the universe or God. Wow. Master Jesus, forgiveness. You are on the path of light, love, and forgiveness. Father healing is also available and possible at this time. Look at the three. Look at this row here. The three of these crossing one another. Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, and Jesus. With, again, the two holidays back to back, like these bookends here, for Jesus on the 23rd and Mary on the 24th. How amazing. All right, I want to get to the other spreads because this is long. I knew it would be, though, because when I saw how many things were going on this week, I just said, wow. This is going to take a while. So with everything that's going on, the cards with which I'm beginning also make sense. From the Angel Tarot, it's renewal with Archangel Jeremiah, which is judgment. Again, judgment representing, at least to me, because it's associated with the planet Pluto, the sign of Scorpio, but also Leo. I get a lot of Leo and fire from this card. From my angel therapy deck, we'll begin with past life issues. Some of us still feeling bound or tied, or some of us still ending karmic relationships, healing karmic relationships, healing issues with our family. And from the Ascended Master cards, nurture yourself with Mother Mary. This is when she comes through to basically say, do you. Like, live for you, love for you. Make choices for you. All of that makes a lot of sense. With judgment, this is a general reading. So I got to tell you that with judgment, it is about judging yourself and or, someone else too harshly. Again, like the Divine Masculine I had been feeling about him. With regard to work, it means that you're being judged and it's in a positive way. Your boss wants to give you like a raise, a promotion, a bonus or something. He has a watchful eye on you for good reason. Don't slack off right now. And with regard to relationships, not just romantic, but relationships of any time, of any type, this is like a make or break moment for them. And it's when we decide if we're going to move on together or move, on apart. Opening to the sun, 19, with Archangel Uriel. Happy outcome, brilliant new ideas that lead to success. Have confidence in yourself. So we got Major Arcana card 19, opposite Major Arcana card 20, which is kind of cool. The sun, more Leo. I was just talking about how Leo comes through with judgment for me. This one definitely is about Leo, as well as Aries and Sagittarius, which traditionally, with the practitioners of the tarot, it represents Sagittarius. Opening to the Empress with Archangel Gabriel. So all we've seen so far is Major Arcana. I love it. This represents the planet Venus and therefore the signs of certainly Taurus and Libra. You can throw Gemini in there too, with Venus being our esoteric ruler as well. Lavish abundance. Give birth to your dreams. Nurture yourself and others. So just what Mary said here with the nurture yourself, here comes another variation of that mother energy, that source, with the same message. And it's opposite the sun, just like we saw Jesus and Mary together. Here's like the mother and the son together. And like I said, this represents the sign of Sagittarius. Venus's son, Cupid, a Sagittarius. Venus, the goddess of love and money. So maybe there's a reason why she's there with essentially the equivalent of Cupid. I'm going to cut. The Knight of Earth. Loyal, dedicated, honorable, and kind is the Knight of Earth. Time to buckle down and get things done. Honor your commitments. You have a guardian angel. Whoop. These are so slippery. The overall energy is the Queen of Earth, who is a Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn, or somebody taking on these kind of energies. She's thoughtful, creative, warm, and sensible. Make time for those around you. Take a sensible approach. Deal with challenges in a kind and understanding manner. And now you've seen all three spreads, because I did the cross, the modifications of the cross with the 3 Marys, and this is the spread of 9. And I own them all. The masculine, 7 of Earth, seeds well planted, a temporary pause in action, unnecessary worry. I think he had this card in the same exact spot last week. Surrounded by the 6 of Water, memories from your history or childhood, issues regarding children, romanticizing the past. This could have something to do with having children. It certainly did. Yes, it was the reading that I did for Isis for the 13th. Had to do this planting seeds in a somewhat literal sense for some. And it can, again, sitting here atop the 6 of Water. 6 of Water for me can definitely represent children or family. It also represents past life relationships, past life issues, soulmate relationships. So we're reaping what we've sown. Masculine subconscious, strength, great inner strength. Release harsh judgments. Instead, exercise some forgiveness and compassion, just like Jesus came through and suggested, and our overall energy does as well. The Queen of Earth. Feminine, the Knight of Water. He's emotional, romantic, enthusiastic, and contemplative. It may be a Scorpio, Cancer, or Pisces, or someone taking on this kind of these kinds of traits. Falling in love or wedding proposals, the need to balance emotions, maybe even an invitation to a social event. Surrounded by the 2 of Earth, too much going on at once. The need to make a decision. Consider a more playful approach. Some of us must be maybe working too hard or too much, not getting in enough like relaxation time, maybe meditation time outside in the earth, speaking to mother, maybe, having a difficulty balancing career and home life. Some of us have a decision to make as well. The feminine subconscious, the Chariot with Archangel Metatron. This represents the sign of Cancer. This can too, this Knight of Water rather. Cancer, perhaps because this week, the zodiac sign of Cancer, the sun begins on the 22nd. An important achievement, self-discipline and willpower, public recognition. This is about movement, victory. Can have something to do with any mode of transportation, planes, trains, automobiles, your travel, the Chariot. Crowning, it's the 3 of Fire. Abundance, things look very good. Have patience at this time and make long-term plans. 3 of Fire can also represent some sort of party of 3, perhaps romantic, with these 3 wands being phallic in the tarot, and then sitting here next to the 7 of Earth and atop the 6 of Water again with the seeds well planted and the whatnot. Can definitely be maybe some sort of situation involving a child and another person, another man, another woman, and maybe that's why a decision has to be made for some. At the root, the King of Air, brilliant, impartial, professional, and diplomatic is the King of Air. He's also a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, and maybe coming through here because of that Mercury. But also I'm feeling could be coming in through here just so you can use his sword to cut away what no longer serves you. Maybe this third wheel, or maybe, at some of this extra time you're putting in at work that you don't need to, cut that out of your life to make room for something else. Maybe cut ties and move on from something, someplace, someone with this Chariot. You have the strength to do it too. At the heart of the matter, The two of water. This is why we don't want three. We only want two. A relationship that continues to grow closer. Forgiveness, yet again, and the positive resolution of a conflict. So where there's a decision to make or a conflict that we've been going through, we fix it. Again, it may have something to do with three people, or for some of us, this is really going to be about abundance. And that's why it sits here next to an earth card and crossing another earth card. Maybe having something to do with where we're going to work. Should we move on to a new job? We're going to hopefully get some more answers from the Ascended Master deck. Again, beginning with Mother Mary and Nurture Yourself. And opening to Yes and Ganesh. This is the second time in this reading that Ganesh has shown up. He was here before in the other spread. Removing obstacles. That's what he's doing here again. He's saying, yes, I've removed the obstacles. Or yes, I'm in the process of doing that. Yes, you should move forward, fearlessly, because I'm here helping you. Detach from drama. I think I used these exact same words myself earlier in the reading when I was talking about the number 5. Athena coming through to say, yes, you're on the right track. They do need to detach from drama. Come out of the closet, says Amaterasu. So that could be, of course, to all of us, but maybe again to the masculine, those who are fearing moving forward because they feel like they don't have enough. Again, you're never going to be pleased. Just go ahead and come out of the closet. Ganesh says yes. And lastly, talking about balancing career and home life, Isis comes to say yes. That's what has to happen in the life of the feminine. She's, putting too much attention toward work and not enough attention maybe toward being social and going out on a date or something like that. Love and emotion. This 2 of water relationship that she has going on, she's got to cut something away to make room for this. Balance career and home life. Last one. See the other person's point of view. Maybe for those who have to make a decision, consider both sides, be fair about it. Like a king of air, right? Be diplomatic about it. Balance career and home life. For some of us, this Knight of Water is, coming through, or we're feminine, or we're going to be that person who maybe invites the masculine on a romantic dinner or to a party, like the dice suggested. Archangel Michael says you can do it. And the overall energy is twin flame and Angus. Angus, who turned himself into a swan so he could be with his woman, because she had been turned into a swan as well. And he's also considered like another son of the mother, the divine mother. Another vibration. Okay, here atop the masculine's 7 of earth and these seeds well planted, but maybe being at a temporary pause. No need to worry, okay? You've put the work in. You've done your lessons. You've done your homework. And now we wait without worry, right? We're going to pass the test. Atop the 6 of water. Right, says Thought. So this could be, again, with relation to a soulmate relationship, maybe a twin flame relationship. When I picked this up, I got to tell you, fertility is behind it, upright also. Fertility and Pan, that's the sex, perhaps. Maybe that's the kind of date you're getting invited out to. That's how your date ends. But maybe it begins with you writing a text, masculine, writing an email, contacting, reaching out, being that Knight of Water, reaching out to the divine feminine. I also just heard like write something off, write someone off, maybe something from the past, letting go of an issue, a past life issue or a childhood issue, writing it off, just saying forget it. You've learned the lessons you need to learn already. Take those with you. Let the rest of it go. Also, this is showing up here with the moon. Maybe this comes in around the 23rd for you, which again is the day the Sacred Heart of Jesus Maybe something goes on with your heart that day too, you know, in a positive sense. You have a change of heart, or you have the heart, the courage, the strength, so to speak, to move forward with this new moon. You move forward toward a new beginning. And to reach the new beginning, you got to let go of the old stuff. So you write that off. Here, a top strength, father, husband, brother, son, Osiris. You, masculine, having the strength to, you know, be any and all even of these roles. You have it all. You're the only one that doesn't see that. I mean, when I tell my divine masculine how I feel, sometimes he's like, really? You know, like, you really see me like that? Yes. I wish you could see it too. Here atop the Knight of Water, take charge of this situation, Moses. So maybe take charge and go ahead and make the invitation, right? An invitation to a social event, a party, maybe. If you're not getting an invitation, take charge of the situation, feminine, and make the invitation. Here atop the Two of Earth, energy healing. Okay, this is about you, again, getting balanced out. We're doing too much. That can lead to our energy being, you know, imbalanced, or to being all over the place. Maybe too much of it going toward, you know, something where it shouldn't be going. And we need to bring it back and allocate it appropriately and in a more healthy way and a more beneficial way to ourselves. You know, we're like expending it in ways that don't serve us necessarily. So that's what the energy healing is about. Atop the Chariot and the moving on, this could be come out of the closet, feminine. You considering maybe moving toward going this way as you're in the driver's seat, and you could head on over to the divine masculine. Again, you can be the Knight of Water. Come out of the closet. You're considering it. This is here in, you know, your conscious, subconscious position. And maybe you've been fearful too. Because a lot of the time we wait for what the other one's going to do, or wait for what the other one's going to say, because nobody wants to feel stupid, right? Or nobody wants to get played. Here atop the Three of Fire. Yes, says Ganesh. He's removing this third wheel. I told you. They're a goner. This person, this energy, whatever it is, that's not symmetric to the Two of Wands here, which is where we're getting things done. We're making moves. We're on a new path. It's a positive one. We're moving toward abundance in all things, financial, material, love. That's because Ganesh is coming through to remove these obstacles, to knock this one down. It doesn't fit. He's going to get rid of it. Here atop the King of Air, open your heart to love, says Jesus. I love that Jesus came back. Again, I was just talking about him and us celebrating him on the 23rd. And here he is next to the Father, husband, brother, son. And that's what he is to us, right? All of those things. And crossing the right. Why am I feeling something about him crossing the right? It's having to do with right, R-I-G-H-T, like righting wrongs is what I'm hearing. It's not right. This Jesus is not right, W-R-I-T-E. It's R-I-G-H-T, and righting wrongs, doing the right thing, being diplomatic. Open your heart to love and fairness, forgiveness, compassion, all those things. Here atop the Two of Water is Queen Ocean being funny. Drink more water, she says. You got the water there. Drink some, because you're going through ascension. I think that's 2 cards. But it feels like the love reading is going to be pretty excited if all this love is coming through already from the general. Again, I'm beginning with past life issue for my angel therapy cards. We'll see if we can get any advice on, how to heal some of these things. This situation has a basis in one of your previous lifetimes. Ask your angels to help you to remember, release, learn, and to heal from your past experiences. And opening to ear chakras, notice messages that appear as sounds, music, and words from both external sources and within your mind. These messages are real answers to your prayers. Ear chakras. Cut your cords. I told you that's what the King of Air is here for. And ask Archangel Michael to clear any old attachments to fear that stem from past relationships, freeing you from destructive patterns. Cut your cords, and I'll go one more. Power animal. Your animal spirit guide is a guardian to you and is helping you with this situation. Cut your cords. Parents. The divine truth is that your parents eternally love you to the best of their ability. The angels are helping you to heal from any pain associated with your mother or father. And I just heard Father's Day with this. And maybe that's another reason why father, husband, brother, son is here. For some of you masculine, you may be celebrating your own Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to you. A divine feminine can be too. Some of you are male. Maybe your fathers, and you're celebrating Father's Day. I don't wish women happy Father's Day. That's just me. But to you fathers, males out there, happy Father's Day to you. But for others, this is about your father not being around. And maybe for some of you, that's who you have to write off. You have to let it go that you grew up without him. That's why it's sitting here atop this Six of Water. It's a childhood issue for you. It's a past life issue, a childhood issue. And you got to write off your own father, but the strength being bestowed upon you by the universe to do so. Okay? Like forgive him. When I say write him off, like forgive him, let go of the situation. And like take the Chariot to move on from it to a healthier place. And we'll give these another little shuffle since we saw so many of them that may want to return as advice. Again, begin with Master Jesus and forgiveness. Open it to Holy Amethyst, Divine Alchemy. Move beyond current challenges. Focus instead on what you desire. Holy Amethyst. Lady Portia is back with Divine Order. Do what you feel is right. R-I-G-H-T. An important lesson from the teacher, maybe, is unfolding. Lady Portia, and one more. It's El Moria, awakening presence. The universe is with you. Wear a cloak of protection and love. El Moria. Aw, how beautiful is this? Mother Mary's back with love and peace. Let go of the need to be right. R-I-G-H-T. Choose peace. Mother healing is possible at this time. Some of the masculine or fathers in particular, the males, also going through this thing of not wanting to be like their own father because he wasn't around maybe and didn't do necessarily the right things. With letting go of any of that resentment and stuff, it should also help you to realize that even if you have to leave the relationship with their mother, or you have left a relationship with their mother, doesn't mean you have to end your relationship with them. And you shouldn't. You don't have to, and you can let go of the fear also of turning into your father. right? We're not going to turn into that father. If you feel worry and concern about that, then talk to your other father and turn into him. We're made in his image. That's whose image we're made in. The overall energy, speaking of the masculine strength here that it's been bestowed upon him, is some strength for all of us. Inner strength. Move back to wholeness. Recognize that you have the power. I love this. When the cards say what I was saying, it's really helpful. Because sometimes they say it so much more eloquently. Okay, so the advice is from the Keepers of the Light Oracle to the masculine, hope is back. And this is what he said the feminine was to him. So this can be saying, you know what, masculine, this is the week to move toward your twin flame. It's a fertile week, right? Meant to be born, new beginnings to be born from this week. New experiences, new love and acceptance. Feminine, Odin, psychic insight. Your third eye is open. See truth for what it is and follow your intuition. This is guiding us, feminine, to maybe not be so King of Swords like, and maybe, especially in this position down here, and have so much going on in our mind, but to instead to see what's real, right? Not what we're necessarily, what we may be making up, what is real, and use our intuition to help us to get to that point. From the angel therapy cards to the masculine, visualize success. Okay, you want to be a big shot before you move forward. You know, you got all these plans. I want to be able to give her this. I want to be able to do that. I want to be here. I want to be there. Visualize it. See yourself doing well in the situation and have the faith in a positive outcome. And then move forward. Anyway, just move. That's part of the faith. I can just go ahead and get started moving forward because I know that these things are going to come to pass. Feminine, mediumship. You have the natural ability to connect with departed loved ones. Maybe specifically fathers this week. That's with whom we're connecting, maybe. From the angels to the masculine. Yes, this is two cards. They're kind of stuck together, which is weird. It's the 6 of Fire. More victory, just like the Chariot. Victory, good news, it's on its way. Public recognition or awards. And also the Hermit. Spend time in quiet meditation, spiritual teaching, self-discovery. Feminine, we've got another 2. We got the 2 of earth here, the 2 of water here, and the 2 of fire. If one of the 2s had to stay out, I'm happy it was the 2 of swords, because that means we're indecisive. 2 of fire, you've come into your own. New partnerships or contracts. Continue to move forward. And lastly, masculine, choose peace. So with whomever, okay, relationships that are ending, friendships, romantic, business, choose peace there. Situations with your divine feminine, choose peace there. With your father, even if you don't know where he is, even if you've never met him, choose peace there. That's your advice. And feminine, work your magic, Saint Germain. Don't you love how both Saint Germain and Lady Portia came through here? This means we've got all the tools we need to do whatever we need to do, feminine, and it's going to be a fabulous week for us because we got all this 2 stuff going on too. 2s mean partnership, 2s mean faith, 2s mean duality. Like we can do it all. I am every woman, and it's, you know, so it's been said, and so it is. I hope that you guys enjoyed the reading. You find it helpful. Have an awesome week. Again, happy birthday to you Geminis who are having a birthday this last week of Gemini. Happy birthday to you Cancers. And happy Father's Day to you fathers out there. I will be back probably with a combination, something, not just a new moon reading, but maybe new moon, Sacred Heart, Immaculate Heart, Ramadan or end of Ramadan, Eid, Eid al-Fitr, and Tammuz. Namaste.